Hello guys, welcome back to another video with Emma. And today I'm gonna be in the previous video I gave a very brief introduction of what Python is and how Python is helpful for machine learning. So initially I did not intend to go through a Python course, but then I thought before we begin with ML, why not just brush up, or if you're new to Python, why not just give or teach you whatever is needed for you to learn, for you to move forward. All the basic concepts, fundamentals, and cores, right? All right. So in the previous video, I discussed a few, I think two or three small, very basic small problems. If you want to check that out, you can check it out. And so in this video, what I thought was we will do around a 3-4 video course where I would be explaining all the fundamentals in each video. So right now in this video, I want to be explaining the basic data types, what is Python, how it works, or when we compile the code, how exactly that gets compiled in the background or in the backend, right? So yeah, let's begin with it. So before we start, this right now, I've opened a notebook, a Jupyter notebook. So what we can do is, in the previous video, I told you that you could download a few text editors or IDEs to work with. So what you can do now is I mean, Jupyter Notebook is another extension for Python itself, which makes coding more simple for data science tasks. Or you can just directly code in a .py file, which will come as an entire script, right? So what is the difference between a notebook and a normal py file? So in the notebook, we can compile multiple cells, right? We can work cell by cell. So we can split our problem and work on one chunk at a time. So let us say first I want to compute the sum, and then I want to compute the product of two numbers, and then I want to join them. So what we could do is directly in a py file we could write the script. But what we can do in this is first we can compute the sum here, compute sum in this cell, right? And then generate a new thing, and then we can compute product in this cell, right? And then we can, I mean, yeah, the order got mixed up, but yeah, and then we can join both the results in this cell, and finally we can display the result in this cell. So essentially, this is how it's going to work. This is how Jupyter Notebook helps you be more systematic with your solutions. I mean, if you're already well into Python, or you have a good knowledge of how the script works or how the flow of a program works, you can directly start working with the py file. There is no difference, right? But people choose this when they're working with data science or data analysis, because this helps you do a step-by-step analysis of what you're currently going through, right? So that is the only difference. The main difference, what personally feel. Apart from that, I am comfortable with both. I've written thousands of lines of code in a py file, and I've also split that up in a notebook file. So it just depends on your comfort, right? So yeah. Now to begin with, I would want you to install Python on your system. How could you do that? You can go onto any web browser and just type in Python download, right? It'll take you to python.org. You can enter this website, and you can always download the latest version of Python. I currently have Python 3.9.x, right? X is basically any build number of 3.9 version. I found that very comfortable. I haven't shifted to anything new after that. But you can, of course, go with the newest version, right? Provided that there are no bugs in the newest version, or You can always check the documentation and see if any bugs were there and if they have been fixed, right? So that's it. You can download, once you've downloaded Python, it gets installed onto your system. Yeah, so once you've installed Python, download and install, Python will get installed onto some place on your system. So there is a path which shows you when you're installing Python on the installer itself, it gives you a prompt as to where it is installing the software. Go to that path, you will find the bin file, right? Take the bin file, copy the path, and paste it onto your system environment variables. How do you paste it onto system environment variables? Go here. You will just type edit the system environment variables on your search. Once you put paste it there, you will find environment variables. Click on this. You will find, scroll down on the system variables section. You will find path. Double click on path and paste the path here. Press on new and paste the path here. Then OK, OK, OK. Once that is done, it makes Python global to all the directories on your system. So now if I open PowerShell, or PowerShell is the newer version of command prompt. So let's say you open command prompt and you just type Python version. It should show you the version of Python that is running on your system. So this is essentially the idea, right? So now that I've given you the intro on how to install Python, so let me first begin. All right. So Um, where do I begin? All right, so we can start off with the data types. This is the most fundamental part of Python, data types, right? So what exactly are data types? What do we understand by data? Data is any form of information that we have. So let us say we have 12. 12 is some sort of data that we possess, right? Now, what is the type of this data, right? That is what data type means. So 12, as we know, is an integer, right? That means 12 is of the integer data type, right? So what we can check is a is equal to 12, correct? So we can do type of a. It gives us int, which means a is of int. Again, similarly, what now when we have text, right? What is a text? In programming, text is nothing but a string, all right? So let's say I take, mm, let's take ABC, right? ABB, ABC, right? So here we typed 12 without any kind of special characters. But here, when we compile this, it gives us an error. Why? Because ABC is a string, and a string in Python should always be enclosed in double quotes, right? So yeah, as you can see, it got compiled. Now, if I type check the type of str, should give me string, right? Now the same way, I'll show you this. So let us say FLO is equal to 12.2. See, here we've written 12, here we've written 12.2. What do you think it should show? Some people might say int, right? But in Python, there is another data type called float, floating point number. So what is a floating point number? It is a number which has a decimal point in it or any fractional data in it. So 12.2 is a fractional unit, as you know, that right? And it contains a decimal point. So when I check the type of flow, it gives me float. So, right? And now what are the data types there? Okay, let's say we have, yeah, so in Python, in Java and other languages, we have a data type called character, C char. But here, I think, let's try char c type of char. Yes. So in Python, a character is also represented as a string. There is no specific data type called a character. But in other programming languages like C, Java, etc., the the letters or any individual special character which is enclosed in single quotes is represented as a character, right? So anything, any letter or any special character, I can say even the hyphen, or let's say the infinity, or let's say anything of that sort. All of these are characters, individual characters, right? So yeah, this is an overview of the Python data types. So you should essentially understand, when you're working on a problem, you should understand what type of data you are working with, right? So if you're working with integer type data, you should expect what kind of output you're about to get. If you're working with string, you should expect what type of output you get. And if it throws an error, you should know why it is throwing a data type error, right? So this is your basic understanding, right? Now we can move forward, right? The second most fundamental step in Python is a variable. What is a variable? What do you understand by the English term variable? A variable is any term or value which is not consistent or which is not constant. For example, if I give you the value of pi value is 3.142, which is a constant value, right? But what a variable is, now I would, uh, the value of pi, if you ask me to change it, I could not change it because it is hard coded, right? Pi is a hard coded value, it is a constant which cannot be changed. It has been defined and it is going to be stay 3.142, right? But a variable is a value that we can change according to our comfort and our use, right? So what I mean is, now let us say we have a. A is a variable. In Python, we declare variables by letters or words, lowercase, right? Lowercase letters or words represent variables, right? You can note this down. Lowercase letters or words represent represent variables, right? So now, what A is a lowercase letter and it is followed by is equal to. Is equal to, as I explained in the previous video, is an assignment operator. What do you mean by assignment? We take the value from one area and assign it to the value to some of another area, right? So A is our variable. It is currently empty. A does not hold anything. A is a null value, right? But here, when I assign it with the value 12, correct? Now A holds the value of 12, right? So currently I have not compiled this cell yet. So currently the value of A is still 0, correct? Because I haven't compiled this. So when I compile, it gives us a tick mark. Now when I print A, it gives me the value of 12. Now let us say I did not store, right? So now A is a variable value. As I explained, a variable value is anything that changes, correct? So now initially we had defined it as 12. Now I can define it as 15. And if I print A, the value of A changes to 15. So it is a variable value. That is what it means, right? So next I'm going to be explaining the print statement. As you can see, I've been typing print in this video. I've been typing print in the previous video. So print in Python is a display statement, right? Whatever is happening. A is equal to 15, and then let us say B is equal to 20, and C is equal to A plus B, correct? So all of this is happening in the backend. The user does not know what is happening. Now, if I want to show the user what has happened in the backend, I display to him using the print statement, correct? So now if I print C, he knows that behind addition has gone in and everything. He knows the final value is 35, but he does not know what has happened inside, right? This is called abstraction, where a person, now let us say a user, only gets the relevant information what he needs. He does not get the information which he does not need to know, which is happening in the backend, right? So that is what the print statement is. All right. So I hope you've understood type, data types, and variables, correct? So in the next video, I will be explaining assignment operators, arithmetic operators, right? And the conditional, there will be videos of conditional statements, looping operations, etc., etc., right? So what these videos are going to do is they're going to give you a very good idea of the basic fundamentals of Python which you need, which will give you a good grasp of the language and will give you a good grasp of how to logically frame your solutions using the language, correct? So yeah, that's it for today. And in the next video, we will be moving forward with arithmetic operations and some arithmetic logical problems so that you can understand variables culminated with when addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and some other problems, right? So that's it for today. Thank you.